What's going on, guys? It's your boy Distic and welcome back to another Yugituber ruling quiz, bringing back a friendly face. Mr. Cimoooooooo is our guest for today. How you doing, buddy?
Doing fantastic, Coder. I am so excited to prove that all I know now is Black Wings and nothing else.
I mean, hey, you did decent last time, but this time we're going for a deck that you actively played during your time playing the TCG rather than just Progression Series.
One of the 4 years ago.
Yeah, but I mean, it's probably the deck you've made the most videos of, isn't it? It's that or like Salamangreat, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. That's actually a good question. I'm going to go look. I'm sure someone in chat's already figured it out.
So today, I'm going to be quizzing you on your Spiral ruling knowledge.
I'm confident. I'm going to do my best. I surprised myself with the Black Wings, so I feel like I can maybe surprise myself with this too. I'm ready.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, this time around, you do get 2 lifelines that you are allowed to use. The first lifeline is you can use the Ask the Head Judge lifeline. The head judge in this case is me. Essentially, you can ask me whatever you would be able to ask a judge during a game, like at a YCS or something like that. The second lifeline that you can use is Ask the Twitch chat. So, at any point during the quiz... At any point during the quiz, if you'd like to ask the Twitch chat any sort of question, we can poll the Twitch chat on whatever answers you would like to poll them on if you're unsure about a specific answer. So if you have a question that you're torn between 2 answers, you can ask the Twitch chat, we'll put up a poll, and they can vote on which of those 2 answers they feel is more correct. You don't have to go with what the Twitch chat votes for, but you can basically ask them to get a little bit of extra insight if you feel like you need it.
Okay, sounds good. So don't need to use that one, but I have 1 lifeline.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, with that being said, Alex, are you ready to get into question number 1?
Let's do it. Let's test some Spiral knowledge.
All right, let's see if you know Spiral rulings. Let's run it with question number 1. So here, you control a face-up Spiral Master Plan that was summoned on a previous turn. It was not summoned this turn. Your opponent controls a Book of Moon face down. In this situation, you're going to be declaring the effect of your Spiral Master Plan in order to add a Spiral Rescue from your deck to your hand. Your opponent is going to chain their face-down Book of Moon in response to your Master Plan. At this point, your Master Plan is going to get booked and its effect will resolve, and you will add Rescue from your deck to your hand. On resolution of this, you will decide to flip summon your Spiral Master Plan. After flip summoning your Spiral Master Plan, can you use the effect to add another Spiral Mission Rescue again this turn?
So, I'm 99% sure you can. Reason for this is because obviously Master Plan is very abusable because its first effect is a soft once per turn. I'm fairly certain that works similarly when a monster is booked because it's essentially being reset. So, final answer, yes, you can activate the effect once again.
Final answer, yes, you can activate the effect again with 0 hesitation. Alex, you are, of course, correct. The effect of the Spiral Master Plan can be used again. We are 1 for 1 right now. That's it. Call it a day. 100% win rate. Just walk out.
Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back. No, I'm just kidding.
Congratulations on being 1 for 1. The rest of the quiz will not be so easy. But that being said, are you ready to get into question number 2?
I am. Feeling good.
All right, let's run it with question number 2. You have a Spiral Resort on your field and 2 copies of Spiral Double Helix in your graveyard. The question here is extremely simple. You proceed to your end phase. How is the maintenance cost of Spiral Resort applied in this game state?
You know, if you asked me this 4 years ago, I'd probably know this immediately. So it's pretty bad that I don't remember this now. Oh my god.
I feel like this was one that was extremely prevalent at the time.
The fact that this is a maintenance cost tells me that like it has to be performed correctly in order to do so. And from like my time playing this deck, I don't really recall shuffling Double Helix back into the... Honestly, if you summoned Double Helix once, you probably won the game already. Let's be honest. That was enough in new support Spiral to just win you the game. I honestly never recall shuffling back extra deck monsters, and if I did, then like clearly it's been so long that I don't ever remember doing it. My intuition tells me you can't, so I'm going to say that you cannot do that to fulfill the condition. And if I'm wrong, I'm gonna look like a fucking idiot. So let's just do it. Let's hear it.
So for your final answer here is that the resort would basically destroy itself. You cannot opt to shuffle back the Double Helix?
Yes, that's going to be my answer.
Well, Alex, you will be happy to know that you are correct. Here, The Spiral Resort is not able to shuffle back an extra deck monster for the reason that you listed. And that reason being is that when a card has a cost or a maintenance cost, the cost or maintenance cost of a card needs to happen exactly per the card's text. So shuffling back into the extra deck is not shuffling back into the deck. Currently 2 for 2, Alex. You're clapping up some cheeks. 6 more questions to go. You ready for question number 3, bud?
Let's see question 3.
Let's run it with question number 3. So you control a Spiral Super Agent that was summoned by its own effect, a Spiral Sleeper that was properly special summoned using its own summoning condition, and a Spiral Quick Fix that was summoned from the graveyard using its own effect as well. Your opponent controls a World Dragon Zealantis. The question here is if your opponent uses the World Sea Dragon Zealantis, banishing all monsters on the field, and then special summoning them all back, which of your monsters is going to be special summoned back by the effect of Zealantis?
I'm kind of surprised we haven't had an effect like this in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like prior to 2022.
I mean, we've had stuff that's like similar-ish, but nothing that does it exactly like this. And I think it's a lot, like, I think it's a very interesting effect.
So here's a question. Was the Quick Fix special summoned by its own effect already?
It was special summoned from the graveyard by its own effect here.
All right, so then Super Agent, I believe there's nothing too relevant aside from the fact it can just like special summon itself, but I'll double check anyway.
Yeah, so this agent was summoned by its own effect.
And then Sleeper, I know, definitely has some conditions on it. So he cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned. So that's very important here. And then Quick Fix gets banished when it leaves the field. So immediately, Super Agent should come back, and Sleeper, I believe, should not, because Zealantis special summons, and the only way you can special Sleeper is via its own effect. So Sleeper should not come back to the field, and Agent should. The one I'm a little bit tripped up on is Quick Fix, because even though... so it's special by its own effect, so it should get banished. That isn't like a restriction as to whether or not it can be special summoned again. That's just something to prevent you from being able to like resurrect it with like Big Red or different things like that. There isn't like a lock on the Quick Fix unless there's something mechanically that I'm just unaware of. So my answer here is going to be Quick Fix and Agent will summon themselves, and Sleeper will not.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer.
All right, Alex. Well, for the first time in this quiz, you are unfortunately incorrect. The correct answer here is that the Zealantis will banish the entire board, and the only monster on your side of the field to be returned is going to be the Spiral Super Agent. You are correct about the Spiral Sleeper because it can only be special summoned via its own summoning condition. The Zealantis does special summon, so it won't be able to summon that back. The reason why the Quick Fix doesn't come back is specifically because Quick Fix banishes itself when it leaves the field. So despite the fact that...
being banished by the Zealantis. Got it.
Exactly.
Got it.
Despite the fact that the Zealantis applies a banishing effect to the Quick Fix, the moment it leaves the field, it's considered that it leaves the field because of its own applied restriction to itself, rather than being banished by the Zealantis. So here, you were close, but we are currently 2 for 3. Still not a problem. We got 5 more questions to go. Are you ready for question number 4? All
right, I'm ready. It's all downhill from here, baby. Let's go.
Nah, don't say that. You got it. Let's run it with question number 4. You control a Spiral Super Agent that is equipped with Spiral Gear fully armed, an interesting tech that some people were running back in the day. Your opponent controls a Colossal Fighter and a face-down Spiral Mission Rescue. They perform the Synchro Summon in their Spiral deck. It's very cool. In this situation, you are going to be declaring an attack with your Spiral Super Agent attacking over your opponent's Colossal Fighter. So in this situation, you'll go to the battle phase and declare an attack and destroy the Colossal Fighter by battle. On resolution here, your fully armed is going to be activating as Chainlink 1, and your opponent's Colossal Fighter is going to be activating as Chainlink 2. How does this chain resolve?
So this is interesting. Yeah, you are right. Fully Armed was very seldom played at all back in the day just because it was like this super niche card. Yeah, Chainlink 1, the Fully Armed, and then Chainlink 2, the Colossal Fighters. So the mechanics here are that the Colossal Fighter is going to resurrect itself before Fully Armed fully resolves. So the question is, does Fully Armed like lose its target essentially as a result of the Colossal Fighter being resurrected? The question is it still considered destroyed if it like resurrects itself. It doesn't say that it targets, so that I think actually helps in this situation.
Okay.
This is interesting. Everyone who's actually good at this game probably already knows the answer to this, but that would require me to be good at this game. So I only play formats from 2005, so these cards are all too foreign to me.
Nah, what do you mean, bro? I'm sure you got to 2017 in progression on one of the seasons.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. All right. In the interest of time, I'm gonna expedite this. I am going to say that since the Colossal Fighter resurrects itself, man, I don't know. This could go either way. All right, screw it. I'm going to final answer. No more beating around the bush. Final
no beating around the bush.
It will banish the Colossal Fighter and the set card.
Final answer. Simo, you are incorrect. The fully armed will activate. The fully armed will activate Chain Link 1. The Colossal Fighter will activate Chain Link 2. The Colossal Fighter will summon itself. But as per game mechanics in Yu-Gi-Oh, when a card changes location, it is no longer the same, technically considered being the same card, so it is no longer that destroyed monster. So because it's no longer that destroyed monster, the Colossal Fighter will not be banished by the fully armed, and per the text of fully armed, if you do not banish the monster that is in the graveyard, you do not also banish a card on the field. So in this situation, the fully armed will actually banish no cards from the field, and the Colossal Fighter will basically be reborn and remain on the field.
The other problem is, I know you're going to set up like bait and like traps in this show too. So like part of me in my head is thinking, okay, is this like the obvious answer? And then he wants me to think that, so then I have to think about the opposite. So like that's the other part going on here too.
So many
I just
people
psyched myself out of it because I was going down the right answer and I just said the opposite just because I'm like, nah, that's too easy. All right.
So many people do that. Exam Andes.
4 for 4, easy.
4 for 4. You just got to get the last 4 right. That being said, Simo, are you ready for question number 5, bud?
No, I'm not, but give it to me anyway.
You got to do what you got to do. Let's run it.
What you got to do. Let's run it.
Let's run it with question number 5. So for question number 5, your opponent controls a Blue Eyes White Dragon. They also have 3 face down cards. They have Infinite Impermanence, Bottomless Trap Hole, and Shrink. In the situation, you control a Spiral Resort and a Spiral Sleeper that has already used its effect. In the situation, your opponent is going to enter the battle phase. They're going to declare an attack with their Blue Eyes White Dragon over your Spiral Sleeper. After your Spiral Sleeper gets destroyed by battle, its effect in the graveyard will trigger to destroy every card you control and then summon Spiral Super Agent from your deck. Here, you declare the effect of your Spiral Super Agent on summon because it was summoned via the effect of a Spiral monster, targeting your opponent's set Infinite Impermanence. In this situation, which of their cards can legally be chained to this effect of Spiral Super Agent?
All right, damage step stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! All right. Yeah, because it was killed by battle, that's when this effect would trigger. I'm like 99% sure. That's a different story if not. So the 3 cards are Imperm, Bottomless, as well as
Imperm, Bottomless, and Shrink. Yes, those are the 3 cards.
Okay. Now, the thing is, the summoning of the Super Agent, or the summoning of the Super Agent is happening in that window, but now I believe we may be out of the window for possibly things to be triggering here, because now it's like we've left the damage step, and now like we've had the Sleeper Agent summon, and now it's using its effect to pop something. I mean, if this is all in the same damage step, then this is going to be like terrible. Because if it's all in the same damage step, then it's like you wouldn't be able to bottomless this because you don't have the window to be able to do so. I believe the same thing would be true for maybe Imperm, actually. Shrink should be able to be activated, though. But the question is, which window is it activating in? And then that dictates which cards could be activated. Because if this is outside of that window, then you could bottomless the Sleeper Agent as well. So I believe that should, like, close the damage step window there. So now we're, like, out of that, and Agent's activating its effect to pop. I think in that case, you should be able to activate all 3 of these cards. So that means Bottomless could bottomless the Super Agent, Imperm could negate it, and I guess you could shrink it if you wanted to, but Blue Eyes can already, well, you already attacked, I guess. Yeah, I'll say all of it. Screw it. Final answer.
All right, Alex, you are incorrect here. The actual answer is that you can activate none of them. none of the 3 cards can be activated, and I'll explain why. This was a damage step question, essentially, and this is very much something that you see in some decks that have monsters that, after being destroyed by battle, will summon a monster that contains a trigger effect. Basically, the way trigger effects that activate on different chains happen in the damage step works as follows. In a situation where your Spiral Sleeper gets destroyed by battle, it's destroyed by battle during the end of the damage step sub-step, which is the last sub-step in the damage step. But you never leave the end of the damage step until you re-enter an open game state. So in a situation where you're constantly using a trigger effect that triggers another effect, that triggers another effect, that triggers another effect, as long as there are constantly triggers being activated, you never actually end up leaving the end of the damage step sub-step. So in this situation, end of the damage step, the Sleeper gets destroyed, and then it triggers, summoning the Spiral Super Agent. And then because Agent is also a trigger effect here, the Agent also triggers in the end of the damage step here to destroy a back row. So as you explained, Imperm and Bottomless cannot be used in the damage step at all, and the Shrink
can't be because it's not damage calc.
It's not, specifically, it has to be before damage calculation or at the start of the damage step. Anything after, like, from the damage calculation all the way to the end of the damage step, you can no longer use any effects that modify stats. So here, neither of the 3 cards were legal activations. That being said, are you ready for question number 6?
Let's do it.
Let's run it with question number 6. We control a Spiral Super Agent that is equipped with Spiral Gear Last Resort, and we also control a Spiral Resort. The opponent controls a Blue Eyes White Dragon and a face-down tech from 2014, Malevolent Catastrophe.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you gotta love Malcat. In this situation, during your main phase, you're going to activate the effect of Spiral Last Resort, sending your Spiral Resort to the graveyard to make it so that your Spiral Super Agent is able to attack directly. You're going to enter the battle phase and declare a direct attack with your Spiral Super Agent. You're going to be declaring a direct attack because you can do so due to your Last Resort, and your opponent is going to chain their Malevolent Catastrophe. After this chain resolves, what happens to the declared attack of Spiral Super Agent?
So, I will admit, of all the Blue Eyes players I've faced playing Spiral, I never in my life did I think I'd be sending Resort for Last Resort to attack directly to not win the game. But that aside...
You could assume you're attacking for game, who knows?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, so Last Resort's a really neat card, though, I will say. There's a lot of, like, cool interactions with it, and, like, the attack directly thing's something that a lot of people forget about. So the question here is, does the attack still continue even if Malcat is destroying the Last Resort? Yeah, this never came up. So the attack's already been declared.
Yeah, you're declaring a direct attack. Malcat is being used on attack declaration.
Replays happen or redeclares happen when the monsters on the field change, which in this case, the monsters on the field are not changing. And unless there is some other like really weird niche thing, which there probably is, that I'm not remembering or just don't know.
Fair enough.
Then, in my mind, the attack's already been declared. I kind of am inclined to believe that like it'll just keep going through, which is... I mean, my pea-brained assumption here. So, yeah, let's go with it. All right, the attack continues. Screw it. Final answer.
Well, Alex, I am glad to tell you that you are correct for the wrong reason, though. You're correct, but for the wrong reason, which is very funny. It is very, very funny. So, you are saying the attack goes through specifically because the number of monsters on the field does not change. Because that is what would cause a replay. That statement is actually incorrect. What causes a replay is not if the number of monsters on the field changes, it's actually if the number of legal attack targets changes, which in this situation...
Okay.
Right. Which, in this situation, attacking directly and attacking the Blue Eyes are the 2 legal attack targets. However, there is no replay that occurs because even if the Last Resort leaves the field after having applied its effect, the monster that it was equipped to can still attack directly. So a direct attack is still a legal target, because the way Last Resort works is that it doesn't work essentially like an equip spell. It's simply if it's equipped to a monster and then uses and resolves its effect fully, that monster is given the ability to attack directly, regardless of if the Last Resort is still equipped to it by the time it declares an attack. So, you are correct, the direct attack still does go through, but the reason why is because Last Resort applies a lingering effect to that Spiral Super Agent rather than adding an additional effect while it's equipped. Hey guys, Coder from the future here. A little bit of an oopsie-doopsie happened in this video, and I'm here to rectify it real quick. So this ruling that was just given about Last Resort, saying that the SPYRAL Super Agent was still able to attack directly, is actually wrong. I made a little bit of a mistake when writing up the ruling questions. I didn't properly read the effect of Last Resort, and that is completely on me. I have a team that write out these ruling questions, but this is absolutely not on them. This is one of the ruling questions that I wrote out, so this is what the actual answer to this question is. So Spiral Gear Last Resort's effect says, once per turn, if this card is equipped to a monster by this effect, you can send one other card you control to the graveyard. The equipped monster can attack directly this turn. Now, one thing that I had missed out on this was the fact that it said the equipped monster can attack directly this turn, as opposed to simply granting that monster the ability to attack. So there is actually a database ruling here that specifically states that if you were to use the effect of Last Resort in order to grant the ability to attack directly to the Super Agent, and then later on in the turn that Last Resort was destroyed by Mystical Space Typhoon, the ruling here is that after the effect was applied, if it's destroyed afterwards, it is no longer equipped to a monster, so the effect is not applied. In this scenario, Spiral Super Agent cannot attack directly with that effect. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to correct this while I was live doing the ruling quiz, so unfortunately for the rest of the quiz, we're going to be assuming that Cimo did get this answer correctly, but neither he nor I ended up getting this answer correct. Very sorry. I typically do as much of my research and my homework to make sure that all the rulings in my videos are correct, and this was brought to my attention after my recording. But I hope that you guys, still learn something new, and that, everybody makes mistakes. We can all learn from this and move forward. That being said, enjoy the rest of the video.
Technicality, technicality. A win's a win, buddy. A win's a win. I knew that all along. I was just trying to, throw you off your game there. So, yeah.
Technically correct is the best kind of correct, right?
That is true. That is true. Yeah.
All right, Alex, that being said, are you ready for question number 7?
Lifeline time, baby. Let's go.
All right, let's run it with question number 7. So here we are with question number 7. Not a very complicated game state. Your opponent has one back row. You control a Spiral Quick Fix and a Spiral Super Agent, and you have a Spiral Super Agent in your hand. In this situation, you are going to be activating the effect of your Spiral Super Agent declaring monster. Your opponent is going to be chaining the effect of their face down, which is Ojama Trio, in order to put 3 tokens on your side of the field. So provided that you have 3 tokens on your side of the field here, and that the top card of your opponent's deck is in fact a monster, how does the effect of Spiral Super Agent resolve?
Wow. Good old Ojama Trio. This feels like overly simple, so that's why I'm suspicious that there's this is question 7. If this was like question 2, I wouldn't be that worried, but this is question 7. This has to be bait. This has to be bait. I refuse to believe it. Am I asking how everything resolves?
I'm asking you, how does the effect of Spiral Super Agent resolve?
So, yeah, you have no more monster zones. So Agent shouldn't be able to summon itself. No, I don't think that should matter. And then if it doesn't... Well, it has an end if you do conjunction, but again, I just don't think that matters at all if you already have 5 monsters on the field. This is too easy. There's no way. There's no way. I refuse to believe that the masochistic man Coder just put, and it's yeah, it just doesn't summon. Next question. I refuse to believe that. There's got to be some other weird thing that I don't know that only you and 2 other people with 500 IQ actually know. I'm going to drive myself insane with this. You know what? Overthinking has gotten me in trouble, so I'm just going to say it doesn't summon. That's just my intuition. Every time I win with my intuition, the first 2 questions, and then I got it right. So screw it. It doesn't summon. Final answer. That's it.
All right. So I'm gonna. So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Okay. The fact that you're saying it doesn't summon is not wrong, but it's also not right. The correct answer here, I'm gonna tell you, you are incorrect here.
Let me clarify before you ruin it. Then let me. Okay, it will attempt to summon, but then is not able to summon.
Okay, that's still technically correct, but also technically wrong.
Okay.
The way the effect of Spiral Super Agent's effect resolves is that The top card of the deck is the Blue Eyes White Dragon, as I stated. And then the Spiral Super Agent will attempt to summon itself, and because there is no zone for it to be summoned to, it will send itself to the graveyard.
Fascinating.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is how it interacts when you have monsters with effects such as Spiral Super Agent, where if they attempt to summon themselves, and they have to summon themselves, but by the time they have to summon themselves, you do not have a zone to summon them to, the Spiral Super Agent will send itself from the hand to the graveyard. So I will say you are incorrect for this one, and you are currently 3 for 7, and you are going... Are you ready for the final question of the quiz?
I'm ready. 2 lifelines. Let's do it.
All right, let's run it with question number 8. So, you control Convulsion of Nature. This is a card that is on the field right now. All right? The first question. While you control Convulsion of Nature, making it so that both players' decks are flipped upside down so as you can see the top card of the deck, you normal summon Spiral Gear Drone. Can the effect of Spiral Gear Drone, when it is normal summoned, be activated while the effect of Convulsion of Nature is also active?
This whole quiz has just been one big bait. Like, again, it's Drone says you can look at the top 3 of your opponent's deck, and if you do, place them on the top in any order. Like, there shouldn't be any reason that doesn't work, but this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Where logic doesn't exist, and we're in an alternate reality. I have lifelines, and I want to use them. So, okay, here's what I'm going to do. Coder, I'm going to ask you... Well, actually, no, I can't really ask you because it's just going to give it away then. My question to you is going to be, like, regarding... like game mechanics and looking at cards, but again, that gives away the answer. So I mean,
if you wanna try and ask the question, I can tell you whether or not I can answer it. And then if I can't answer it, I'll answer it and take away your lifeline.
There's like no reason this shouldn't work, and I shouldn't even have to use a lifeline for this. But now I'm just questioning everything I know. Okay, I mean, you'll just say no if you can't. Is there any like game mechanic rule that would like affect looking at cards at the top of the deck, whether or not they're face up or face down?
I don't know if I can answer that. I feel like
that's what I mean. It's like any question I ask for this is going to give it away.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely like, and typically the standard by which I use is like if you asked a judge at a table like while you're playing in a tournament, would they answer you that? And I feel like a judge probably would be like, "Bro, I have no idea what the fuck you're asking me." You're
well,
to be fair,
no judge is going to walk over to a table and see Convulsion of Nature in a spiral deck with Blue Eyes on the other side of it. So of course they're not.
Actually, I'll have you know, I will have you know, Convulsion of Nature was teched in super early Spiral when it first released.
I'm aware. It's not good, but I'm aware. All right, fuck it. Yes, you can. Second part of the question.
Yes, you can activate the Spiral Gear Drone. I will tell you that you are correct about that one.
God.
Congratulations, Alex.
No, I was just walking off because like I give up hope for this game if that was the case.
Yes, you can activate the effect of Spiral Gear Drone, and here you will use the effect in order to stack your opponent's deck. Now, the next part of the question. With the 2 monsters you have on your field, you are going to be performing a link summon, and you're going to be linking both your monsters into a Spiral Double Helix. Now, the question here is, while you control Convulsion of Nature, can you use the effect of Spiral Double Helix? And if you do, and its type match the declared type, take a Spiral monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon.
Big difference here is that Double Helix does have to reveal. If Convulsion of Nature is already revealing the card, through Double Helix's effect, you can't... I hate this game so much. So you can't, logically, you can't reveal a card that's already being revealed through Convulsion of Nature, because like it's already revealed. There's nothing to reveal. The act of revealing is to unveil the mystery of what is on the other side of the card. I want to say that this won't work just because if you're revealing, you can't reveal a card that's revealed. But again, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Where logic doesn't exist. So I'm going to do the best thing I could do for anyone, and especially anyone watching this video, and that is poll the Twitch chat.
We're asking the Twitch chat. All right, we are using our question lifeline. So I'm going to let you, Alex, choose how you want to word the poll and which options you want to give to the poll as well.
Can I like straight up ask like the full thing, or am I not allowed to like ask?
You can ask. Can I activate Double Helix here if you want?
Okay, because I know with you I'm not allowed to ask that, so I was just clarifying. Yeah. Okay.
Can you activate Double Helix?
I will ask the chat. Can I activate Double Helix here? Yes, no, I don't know. I like having the I don't know, and I was thinking that before you even said it, so I'm glad that you did.
So, ladies and gentlemen of the chat, 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. Go ahead and cast your vote. Cimo needs your help. Can you activate the effect of the SPYRAL Double Helix in this game state? 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. We have 28% saying yes, 38% saying no, 36% saying I don't know. So we really are at a...
why we say don't listen to chat. This is exactly why we say it. Okay. So as helpful as chat was, which they weren't, I'm going to say that final answer, no, the question is you can't...
Can you activate the effect of the SPYRAL Double Helix while the top card of your opponent's deck is revealed with Convulsion of Nature?
I'm going to say no, you cannot. Final answer.
Well, Alex, you're going to have to get the jank tank because you are incorrect. You can use the effect.
Don't listen to chat. Don't listen to chat, ladies and gentlemen. 38% of you said no. That's what I get for listening. All right, let's hear why.
You can use the effect of SPYRAL Double Helix because revealing the top card of your opponent's deck while the card is face up is just, it's one of those, those Konami said so interactions type of thing.
Right.
So the logic that you had there was sound logic, and the reason why the logic is sound is because, for example, you cannot use the effect of a danger in hand while that danger is being revealed in the hand, because you can't reveal a card that is already being revealed, as opposed to the top card of your deck being visible. It is not treated as being revealed. It is simply face up in the deck. So because of that slight distinction that we only get when we have Convulsion of Nature, you can use the effect of the SPYRAL Double Helix here. So unfortunately, you will have scored a final score. Alex, come back. No, don't go away. Alex, please. He just peepo left. Chat, we found a new peepo leave emote. He got the jank tank! Let's go! The jank tank!
I deserve this. This was... We've had some jank in our series, but buddy, I should have worn this from the start. Because, oh my god. This is what I just despise about this game, is that when you have logic that in other circumstances it works, but then in like this one particular instance, because the edict from Daddy Konami is like, nope, it doesn't work, thank you, then that's it. I love Yu-Gi-Oh, ladies and gentlemen. What a great card game that we can all coalesce around, isn't it?
Well, Alex, in a very Yu-Gi-Oh moment, you have unfortunately scored a 3 out of 8 score to close it out on our SPYRAL quiz. On the plus side, did you learn something?
I learned a lot, actually, and I learned that I should have never done this quiz in the first place to show how much I really didn't know about this. How did I get more on Black Wings? A deck I've never played prior to last year versus a deck I played competitively 4 years ago. That's bad.
You did definitely do that. You actually did really good season 1, and to be honest, some of these questions were big traps, but in all honesty, I hope you had fun, and I hope you learned something new. And the same thing for the people in the Twitch chat, the people watching at home on YouTube. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys learned something new. And what I will say is that I hope you guys join us next week for the finale of the Yugituber quiz season 2, where we will have Team Samurai X1 here playing with Blue Eyes ruling questions. So we had a little bit of Blue Eyes here, more Blue Eyes to come next week. But with that being said, thank you so much, Alex, for coming on. Congratulations on scoring
3 out of 8.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm surprised I got that many at this rate.
But for everyone watching at home, thank you so much. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good one, guys. Peace.